from a format that was, broke in the 20s. There was a format that pretty much it broke in 84. This is hip hop.
Yes.
This was the year of breaking, and I think Run
Break
DMC.
exploitation films.
Right. Well, that's when it hits the big time, is when you get those movies, those exploitation films. Like this is a this the whole country will embrace this, and so can you touch on what was it, Graffiti Rock, I think is your chapter.
Yeah, that's right. Graffiti Rock is the focus of the chapter, and I was fortunate to talk to Michael Holman, the host and producer and creator of the show. I found him through Facebook, and the methodology of the book, and I'm sorry to be so technical here, but my internet connection is unstable. Sorry. Yeah. If things go awry, let that be a warning, and we can reconnect if need be. But I think I should be okay. You guys seem okay. I was having trouble with it yesterday on another meeting. To go back to Graffiti Rock. So Graffiti Rock, was a pilot. There was only one episode made. It was a half-hour show. It was basically American Bandstand for rap. And it was called rap then. Nobody referred to it as hip hop back then, which thinking about it now, maybe I could have made that distinction a little more clear, because one thing I tried to do is refer to heavy metal as heavy metal, because nobody just called it metal at that point, or the way that I made sure to capitalize the words compact disc, because it was a registered trademark and that's how it was referred to. It wasn't a normal phrase that it reached the everyday at that point. So hip hop then isn't really called hip hop, it's really called rap. Yeah. Most people call it rap. And Graffiti Rock is like, Holman is seeing this whole thing blow up because he manages the New York City Breakers, which is a breakdancing crew. And he's shooting segments of these guys for like PM Magazine and all these syndicated and local like magazine style shows that used to proliferate back then, mostly syndicated. And so he was seeing all of this. He'd been a big part of that culture. He was somebody who was entrenched in it and knew it. And he was watching it blow up person by person, crowd by crowd, city by city. And nobody in corporate America was ready to believe that yet, even though it was obviously happening. Everybody but the radio knew it was happening. Everybody but the record business knew it was happening, pretty much. So he's like, we're going to get on this wave and we're going to sell this show. And he makes the show. And it was like, oh, this is perfect. This is a perfect frame, because you have the old school, which is the Treacherous 3 or the Treacherous 2, because the third member had left. I had to leave out the fact that there are conflicting opinions on whether he left or was kicked out. LA Sunshine. So or was it Special K? I think it was LA Sunshine. Anyway, they're the co-host. They're the hosts of the show along with Holman. Run DMC is upending rap. They come along with their drum machines and they're yelling, and they're completely non-disco sound. And nowadays people refer to the early hip hop records as disco rap, which makes sense. Nobody called it that then, but that's pretty much what it was. Run DMC bulldozed that. They came along with their drum machines and their yelling, and they bulldozed, they rendered irrelevant all hip hop before them, which is a rare thing to do. A rare thing to do in any category, especially one that moves as fast as hip hop. And of course, within 4 years, they were has-beens, just like the groups that they had supplanted. But at that time, they were it. I remember hearing them in I lived in an apartment complex, and I would hang out hang out around there, and like kids would have, there'd be a playground, and like kids had boom boxes, and that's where I heard Run DMC. I was like, what the hell is this? Everybody did. Everybody who heard Run DMC for the first time in 1983, 84 was like, what the hell is this? Yeah. And so you had Shannon, the disco singer, you had the breakdancing crews, you had people scratching records, you had the whole culture on display in a half hour for middle America's consumption. And that seemed to me the perfect frame.